Right, I'm going to show you how to set up your Wi-Fi camera. Let's just quickly flick to one. Wi-Fi IP cam, and they are these kind of things. So they're all very similar. You've got your aerial, you've got your LAN, you've got a power supply, and it tilts and pans. So fairly good. The standard ones are 640x480 resolution, which is the same as this one. It has tilt and pan function, as you can see here. Has a call function which moves to a preset position. But what I've done here, if you look, I will go back to this. This is the domain I was using. Now, how I got that is basically there's a domain, there's the port number. You go into, like say, freedns.afraid.org, as you can see here. You set up a new subdomain. So what I've used is you could pick one here. You can pick any one. I've just used that one that I've, as you can see, type A. It gives you an explanation. Subdomain, you can call it what you want. It's just something that will come up, as in Halox here. That's just a gamer name I use. My external IP, the one that you get if you type what's my IP. IP, there you go. And it'll tell you at the top. So that sets this up. It's free as long as you access this site every 6-8 months, whatever it is. And that gets you that, so people don't see your IP address. So anyway, here's this webcam. I've got numerous videos about it on YouTube. I'll link to some now. They all detail different things, but this one I'm going to detail everything, hopefully. So I'm on my computer, so I'm going to use the center one. The other ones are just different interfaces, just different user interfaces. That's a basic one. Sorry, that's a basic one for your mobile phone. For Internet Explorer, it's very similar, and this is for other ones. So I'm signing in, and I'm hit with the display on the camera just now. So I can put it on, move up and down if I was a security guard drinking coffee, or left to right, or and left to right, and it'll do both. I can stop that up and down, and it will keep going left to right. I will press call, and it will move back to a preset position. Now I preset that position by pressing the 1, or pick a number basically. So I will move it to here, and press 2 and set. So you see where 1 was, so I'll move it to 1, and you see where 2 is now, so I'll move it back to 2. This is to flick the image, or to flip the image. Some cameras are upside down. This camera is upside down, so you can flip the image, which would give you the right way up, and you can flip it the other direction as well. So we'll call that. So we've got resolution now. 640x480 is the one I was using, and it tends to stick like that. If I'd done 320x240, it would just go a smaller screen. Obviously, because I'm doing that as well, it's lower bandwidth strain on your router and the camera itself. But the camera is designed to use that, so as long as your router can take it, I see no reason why not. The modes are, this is outdoor, this is 50Hz, 60Hz, not a lot of difference, is there? You can mess about with the brightness if you want. And it's a night vision camera, so at night I can see not bad at all. This is night time, here we go. It's fairly well lit, you can see the reflection there. It's fairly well lit. For night time anyway. You can see also reflecting off of that reflector on the side of my caravan there. So, right, anyway, now to the setup. device ID. Here we go. We've got firmware versions and stuff like this. So you can set the alias up if you wanted. Here, date and time settings. Pretty basic stuff here. Sync with the FTP server. Tile up yourself, or you could just tell it what time it is. Or you could sync it with the PC time down here. User settings. You can have myself, who's an administrator and has access to these settings, an operator who can just move the camera about, or a visitor who can just watch the current view. And you can change all of them. Multi-device settings. If you wanted to have other cameras on this view, you could. So I could set those up and have a split screen camera view. That's entirely up to yourself. Basic network settings. Now this is the start, and to get to the things that catch people out. So, DHCP server. This is your router. So, if you want to have a varying IP address, like if the power was to go off and everything boots up again, the IP address might be different. So, if you use this, it'll be okay. This up here, as in a DNS web page. But if you use an internal IP address, like 192.168.1. Let's go, I can't remember them, 699, am I right? No, must be 599. 599. This is the internal IP address for the camera. Now it's the same camera, it's just I'm not going to this external DNS server to get the camera feed. I'm just using it within the house. So I'll close this one just now. You've seen the DNS and how it's set up. Now it's exactly the same settings, doesn't matter. Back to basic settings. But the IP address is the IP address that you want from here. What you do is you type CMD at the bottom here, and you get a command prompt up on a DOS screen. You type ipconfig, and you get the rest of your settings for your computer, or for here, sorry. But what you're going to do is the IP address here, you let it find it on the DHCP server first. Then you go into your router, depends on what router you have, and go to attached devices. Now if you unplug everything else from your router and just have the camera, sorry, this is needing refreshed, but if you unplug everything from your router and just have the camera and this computer running, then you will quite easily find your IP address, because you'll only have two listed, and it will not be that one, 192.168.1.9, because that is this computer. So the other address you pop in there. The subnet mask is the same, and that's taken from here, 255.255.255.0, right there. The gateway, default gateway, 192.168.1.1, and the port, well, that's up to you. That is again within your router, but you will need to use a port. So I've got security camera. That's the first one. That's the HD one, sorry. That used to be the rear camera, but that's now the garage camera. Front camera is port 99, which is that. So as you can see, it is IP address 192.168.1.5, and that is the port it's using. That just means I can view it externally, some other house or internet, any connection in the world basically. I need that port set up. So back to here again. All you do is pop that port in there and submit. that's the basic network settings. The wireless settings. First of all, sorry, you have to connect it via a LAN cable, and then you can set up your Wi-Fi settings. So you would press scan, use wireless LAN, find the SSID, which is just your router. Those are the ones in the area. That one there is mine. So network type, infra. Encryption, well, again depends on your router, but that is mine, WPAPSK. And the share key, well, that's up to you. And that will now work on wireless. ADSL settings, forget it. UPnP settings, forget it. DNS settings, well, that's exactly the same as the name that was up here. Halox UK dot something or other. But this is these are ones you have to pay for. So that one's free. Don't worry about it. Mail settings, that's up to you. You have an alarm service here that you can get emails sent to you if you want. If you're on holiday or whatever and somebody is in your house, you get an email showing you the photos, the first 3 photos I think it is. Just let's test it. I'll show you what I mean. Succeed. Right, so if I check my email now, I will come back to that in a sec. We'll close that. Basically, go to your email service provider. So I'm Google Mail, so I use my sender address as a Google Mail address, and my receiver address is a Google Mail address. So you need 2 different addresses. Both of them are Google Mail, both of them are mine. It's an SMTP, googlemail.com is the server. SMTP port is 465, it's pretty standard. And the TLS is TLS. There it actually tells you Gmail is 465. Need authentication? Well, that depends on your Google Mail or whoever you use, but Google Mail do. SMTP user is your sender email address and your sender email address login. So, right, let's see if I've got test. There we go. That's just set my test, it's not actually sent me any pictures. Right, where are we? That's the mail. FTP server. Now that is, I've done quite a bit on that in another video. I will pop that up now. But I'll show you again how to set it up. FTP server is your external IP address. So that's not this IP address. I will get rid of that in fact. It is the one you get when you go to what's my IP. Because the first thing that people see when they come off the internet is this IP address. So you pop that in there. Now FTP as a standard port on routers, it is 21. You may need to forward that port for port 21, which I didn't because it must be set up like that. I can't remember. Can't remember. I'm sure it must be just set up FTP forwarded already. Anyway, if it doesn't work, remember to forward that port 21. The user is the user of your router, because this is what we're accessing, because your hard drive is actually plugged into the router. So if I was to log out, I think you've seen it the first time actually, but if when I log in, it's admin plus my password. So that's your router password. Now, the FTP upload folder. This is another way of doing it. But if you go into your computer, press network. Let's just get this in the middle here. Ready share. Now, this router just uses shares as that folder. So the folder I'm looking at now is shares here, so the ready share. And then the folder I'm looking to get into is USB storage, which is there, no spaces. It's exactly the same as there basically. And then I want to go to media and pictures, security camera pictures or images. Now that is the same path as you put in there. You could pop it wherever you want, it doesn't matter, as long as it is on that network. And you can access it via your computer network on the screen here. Because if you can access it here, then your camera can access it. So it's there. You could put it anywhere. You could make a new folder elsewhere for it if you want. But this is running continuously, so it puts it in there. FTP mode, port, and you can press test if you want, and it'll upload an image now. You can see all the images, so I'm not going to waste time doing that. Alarm service. Right, quickly on this one. Motion detect alarm. If the camera senses an alarm, it will, depending on the sensitivity, that's a bit of a Chinese mistake there, because all these cameras really come from China. Depends on the sensibility here, it will pick it up. So maybe a fly passing in front of it won't catch it on 5, but it may catch it on 10. So it's up to you. You have ports on the back of it for an alarm input. I don't use that. Same as that one, I don't use that. Like if your house alarm went off, it would go, it would start taking photos or videoing, whatever you want. And vice versa, if you wanted your alarm to go off when it picked up an image, then you could pop it in there. Send mail on alarm, no, but upload images on alarm. Yes, I upload images for 60 seconds, one every second. But it is only on when it's highlighted. So it goes off at 8 in the morning, comes on at 9 at night. PTZ settings, that's just your speeds. Patrol settings, I think that's one of these things. Decoder, wouldn't worry about, that's just your bit rate. Wouldn't worry about that as well. If you've got something to update, then that's up to you. If everything's happy, you might want to back it up. So press submit and it will give you a file. There you go. And you can save that somewhere. Likewise, if your camera buggers up, you can use that file, choose a file, choose the same file, pop it in there and submit it. Restore factory settings, reboot device, log, that's what's happened. Motion detected, there we go. All these motion detections for the last month or so. And back to the camera. So I'll just get my high definition camera up. Alright, this is my high definition camera. It's getting a bit dark outside now. It certainly doesn't look dark on this camera right enough, but I can assure you it's pretty dark out there now. Same kind of thing, slightly different interface, but same kind of thing. It has, rather than a FTP storage facility, which it does have, doesn't work too great, it has a built-in SD card. So I can look and replay back maybe last night's, there you go. That's pitch black in the middle of the night. You can see it there, it's 3:56 AM. It records, there it was a spider, I was just going to say it records for 5 seconds before the movement. This is what I'm seeing. So, quite a nifty wee thing actually. High definition as well. We'll go back to home. Now I'm just going to quickly skim on this HD device. But this is 1600 by 1200 resolution. I will show you the difference. It's quite impressive. It doesn't have a call button, so you can't send it back to that position. Oh, But if you fancy nosing your neighbours, you can. There we go. It's up to yourself where you put it as well. It's quite a nifty wee device. Just take it up a bit. Now this is upside down. This doesn't have a reverse function, so I'm having to go upside down for that. Right. Anyway, that's fine. You've seen the replay. I can pick a night basically and have a wee look, see what happened that night. Now you've got 5-second lead into movement, whatever moved. There's, oh there you go, it's a spider. But my security light has just came on out the back, so you will see the difference. That's with the security light, and you've seen the image 2 seconds ago, so it is actually fairly dark. Log, this is all just your movements and bits and bobs, pick a day. There you go, motion detected, times. Parameters, I'm not going to go through this again, it's exactly the same as the last time. I've just chose a different port, because you can't have 3 cameras on the same IP address and port, so it's a different port. Main flow, that is your 16x12, blah de blah de blah. It's fairly straightforward, very straightforward in fact. DNS, it's off. I could have wanted to set it up with that halox.uk or org or whatever it is. I haven't bothered. Video cover, that's just if you want to cover a section of the screen, like if the path to stop the camera picking up people maybe walking on a path by your house or something like that. Sensors, dodo, alarm channel, blah de blah, motion detection. There we go, setting the time. Alarm, not really bothered about that. And time record, no, I don't want it to record for specific times, so not really bothered. The FTP, this firmware version is rubbish on the FTP, so I wouldn't bother. System, same time settings, same system tools. You can format your SD card, which I will do. It's an 8GB SD card. Again, backup, update. Can view the files on the SD card if I wanted to bring some over to the computer. And that's about it really. Once I press home, there you go. This is back with an empty SD card.